Welcome to Push Culture News. My name is Brian Davenport, and this is the January edition of the Push Culture News Desk. We'll be doing things a little different this year, so we can better keep you informed. Instead of releasing the January News Desk in January, we decided to wait till everything happened so we can report on the whole month at once. So, let's get started. Patrick Switzer has rounded up another bunch of talented skaters and taken them off to a sunny paradise of hills to film the next installment of Greener Pastures. They've set up an Indiegogo campaign to help fund the trip and to allow you the opportunity to get your hands on some exclusively branded Greener Pastures Offshore gear. For example, and this is exciting news unto itself you'll hear more about next month, a P-Swiss Pro model from Rain, the Fortune, is available, as well as specially branded Push Culture hoodies, bear trucks, and even a private skate lesson with one of the riders. You won't be seeing the first episode until September 3rd, but here's P-Swiss himself with a brief update from that sunny paradise.
What's the plan today, Patrick?
The Orangutang tree has recently dropped its freshest fruit. The Moronga is 72.5 millimeters tall with a 35 millimeter center set contact patch. It's poured from the same euphorethane introduced in the Balut last year, but uses more of it to cover the same wide core. These symmetrical wheels can be flipped and rotated as you wish, providing consistent wear throughout their life. To go with the release of the Moronga is a new video project from the mind of Adam Colton. Nightfall features Dane Weber, Kyle Chin, and Trevor Baird stylishly working their way down a local hill in the midst of what appears to be a looming mist. If you've been around long enough, you know that Adam Colton continues to progress as both a skate and experimental videographer. However, I imagine it's been long enough now that there's new riders entering the scene that don't know or appreciate the impact that Adam Colton has had on this sport. If this is you, it's time you spent some time watching old videos on the Loaded Newsletter channel. If you don't remember We Got Dem Perps back in 2009, you should check it out. You may not realize some of your favorite riders were supported by Orangutang and Loaded early on. While it may not look like it anymore, that tight pack skating was revolutionary for its time and has influenced skateboard riding and racing ever since. For a real blast from the past, and this is especially ironic when we consider how long the Chubby Unicorn took getting to market, Google Loaded Speedboard Testing for a look at a leather-clad Adam Colton attacking Nebraska's most famous downhill run, Dung Beetle Canyon. With winter in full swing in most places north of the equator, the vast majority of us are sitting by awaiting the coming spring. But for a select few, the wait had lasted long enough and the sunny Boricua beaches were calling them south. Travis and Jenica heard the call and joined the migration to what is becoming one of the most highly anticipated skatecations of the year.
We made it to the beach to kick off our Puerto Rican Skatecation. We got 3 different races and a week on island time. I totally forgot what I was going to say.
Next location. Every single fucking day's like a vacation. Next spot, next location. Every single fucking day's like a vacation. Next spot, next location. Every single fucking day's like
fuck up out your seat, this is first class only. So lift your glass, homie. Even if we crash, gon' be the illest last floating. Yeah, yo, relax, we fine. No turbulence in my airplane. We flying from New York to God. I don't know where will we find. Hopefully somewhere I could get some very cherry bubble berry Mary wine and light it and smoke it.
And the whole crew's here. Puerto Rico, baby, Puerto Rico. Family style. Back to you, Brian.
The first event of 2013 was the Ultra Skate at the Miami Motor Speedway, where Andy Andrus and Colleen Pellick both set new 24-hour distance records. Here's Push Culture News' resident South Beach correspondent Jonathan Strauss with a report.
Thanks, Brian. Jonathan Strauss here, pit side at the 24-hour Ultra Skate. About 6 months ago, Andy Andrus and I had a crazy idea to create a 24-hour Ultra for the community in an effort to break the Guinness Book of World Records for a distance skated in 24 hours. Do you guys remember the story of the turtle and the rabbit? Think more on the turtle side today. It's been fun so far. We're about halfway through. Our skaters are on pace to break it, so Paul Kent, look out. Andy Andrus broke the world record for the 24-hour Ultra Skate with a distance of 261.8 miles. Colleen Pellick also surprised the skateboard world by setting a new standard and world record for females by skating a distance of 167 miles in 24 hours. It's been a complete day of action-packed stoke here, Brian. Back to you.
Thanks, Jonah. By setting a new world record, Andy managed to dethrone Paul Kent, who held the previous record of 250 miles. Starting next month, we will be bringing you coverage of Paul's training and preparation leading up to his attempt at reclaiming the coveted title. Now here's a new race wheel for you from the minds of Zach Sharp and Eric Douglas of Austin's Carve skate shop. After years of selling and riding other people's wheels, Waterloo Wheels was created. Zac and Eric are great skaters and total wheel nerds who over the years have learned exactly what they demand from a wheel for themselves. As a result, the Waterloo Rally is truly their own unique design. The 74mm ride height is a good compromise between maintaining roll speed while still allowing adequate acceleration. And the wide 63mm contact patch is grippy enough to let you rally any corner. The hard center set core provides even weight distribution for faster straightaway speed and a smooth, low rebound drift. These wheels are designed to slide fast on race courses, not free riding, but the guys are currently working on a free ride wheel to satisfy you slide jammers as well. Aside from making a great wheel, the guys at Carve have been organizing races around the Texas Hill Country to provide opportunities for new and experienced riders alike to get some race time under their belts. We spoke to Zach and Chubbs at the finale of the 2012 Carve Race Series.
Thanks, Brian. I'm down here in Austin, Texas with Zach Sharp. He runs Carve Skate Shop up here, and we just finished up the 6th and final event of the Carve Race Series. You want to tell us a little about that?
Yeah, it was a 6-race series over about a year and a half, and we raised $750 through $5 entry fees through the first 5 races, and we're giving the pot out to the top 3 of today's race. Definitely want to keep it rolling. We'd like to eventually grow out of our outlaw roots, but it's just one step at a time.
Yeah, taking it to the next step, getting it sanctioned and organized and all those other things.
Right. You know, that takes a real event organizer, and we're all just a bunch of skaters. So that's, yeah.
The Texas scene is big, it's growing, it's a very tight-knit family spread out over long distances, but it's great to be here. Back to you, Brian.
Sweet Spot Wheel Company was launched last year when Michigan college students Jared and Al wanted a smooth, quiet slide wheel of their own. But they were also interested in taking some of the money spent on wheels in this industry and directing it towards a good cause. Their business plan is centered around a commitment to donate 10% of their profits to their Wheels for Wells fund, which will be used to drill fresh water wells in African villages that are often miles away from the nearest fresh water source. This is no easy task. The cost of one well is around $6,000, so even if they're selling lots of wheels, it will take some time before the guys are able to provide clean drinking water to anyone, but they are well on their way. Next time you're in the market for a set of slide wheels, why not check out Sweet Spot Wheels? They've got a proven buttery slide that won't disappoint, but more importantly, it's a small way to make a big difference. No matter which wheel you choose to ride, you're going to need bearings to attach them to your trucks, right? So over a lifetime of my skateboarding, I've been through countless sets of bearings, ranging from super cheap, bottom of the barrel, to most expensive, top shelf. And the one and only thing I can say for sure is you don't need to spend a lot of money on bearings. But in some ways, you do get what you pay for. These days, what I look for in a bearing is ease of assembly and proper fit. The Tekton bearings have integrated speed rings on the outside and self-aligning spacers on the inside. This inner spacer guarantees the bearings press firmly together, holding your wheel in just the right spot, especially during those heavy side loads experienced in a slide. And it makes changing wheels on the hill way easier because there's no additional washers and spacers to lose in the process. Seismic has recently introduced a 6-ball variety to the Tekton lineup as well. Now, why 6 balls? In theory, having 6 larger and stronger ball bearings instead of 7 equates to less friction. Less friction should result in faster acceleration, higher roll speed, and a longer life. If you prefer ceramics, Tektons are also available in 8 and 10 millimeter diameters. Ceramics certainly have their advantages, but they do come with a heftier price tag. Nowadays, it seems the first thing you do with a new set of trucks is toss the stock bushings and tune them to your specific needs. But do you ever think about the pivot cups as well? If you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, that's okay. This right here is your pivot cup. It's one of the most overlooked but most important parts of your setup. Riot Board Sports is currently offering 8 different machine pivot cups in 3 different urethane formulas to fit almost any truck on the market today. If you're still running the same old stock pivot cups from 3 years ago, it's time for an upgrade. A tight fit will ensure complete engagement and minimize vibration where the hanger and base plate join together, providing a more stable and consistent ride. If you've invested hundreds of dollars in precision trucks, it's probably time for a little maintenance anyway to keep them performing at the level you paid for. The more you get to know your equipment, how it works, and how it best suits you, the more you'll enjoy it. Check out these new tuning options at riotboardsports.com. That's all for the January edition of the Push Culture News Desk. No rant this time. I'm Brian Davenport, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. If you have not already, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Push Culture. Subscribe to our channel at pushculturenews.com and stay up to date so we can keep you informed. Ew, I love my teleprompter.